the secret that can give you freedom. What if everything you believe about beginnings was never true? What if the day you were born wasn't the first page of your story, but just a continuation of something ancient, something infinite, that has always existed? From the moment we open our eyes for the first time, the world tells us we've arrived. That birth marks our start, that this is where the journey begins. But what if that's just a convenient story, one built by a mind obsessed with beginnings and endings? Imagine for a moment that birth isn't a starting line, but a doorway. Not a spark of existence, but a shift, a change in frequency, where awareness simply moves from one form to another. You didn't begin here, you appeared here, and everything that you are, your consciousness, your essence, your soul, has been here all along, waiting for this exact experience. For centuries, humanity has drawn a straight line and called it life. We mark one end, birth, the other death, and everything in between becomes a race to fill the space between those 2 points. But what if the line itself is the illusion? What if existence doesn't flow from one end to the other, but circles endlessly, like a wave that never stops returning to the ocean that gave it life? Science gives us structure, culture gives us labels, but neither can capture the truth of what we are. Because who you are is not the name you were given, not the skin you wear, not the collection of memories you carry. Who you are is consciousness itself, timeless, shapeless, infinite. Birth, then, is not creation, it's translation. It's awareness expressing itself in a new language. You are not born from nothing, you are born through everything. When we let go of the idea that life starts at birth, something extraordinary happens. Fear begins to fade, pressure begins to dissolve. We stop obsessing over the ticking clock of time, and begin to sense the timelessness of who we truly are. Because deep within, something ancient already remembers. You've done this before. You've crossed this threshold countless times. Every birth is a bridge. Every breath, another crossing. And freedom, true freedom, begins the moment you remember that you were never trapped inside this beginning at all. Now imagine the other end of the line, the one we fear even more, the moment we call death, the supposed end of all things. From our first day alive, we're trained to see death as the closing curtain, a silent void that swallows everything we've loved, built, and become. It's the one truth society tells us we cannot escape. So we spend our lives pretending it's not there. But what if death isn't darkness? What if it's light? Too bright for our eyes to see from here. Everything in nature transforms. The leaf falls, but feeds the soil. The star dies, but becomes the dust that births 1,000 more. Why then would consciousness, the most powerful force in existence, be the only thing that ends? The truth is, it doesn't. Death is not a wall. It's a doorway made of light, and the one who passes through it doesn't vanish. He expands. Eckhart Tolle speaks of this shift as the end of form, not the end of being. Neville Goddard calls it the Great Transition, awareness releasing the costume of flesh so it can move freely once more. Both understood that death is not a punishment, it's evolution. It's the same freedom you've been seeking in life, disguised as an ending. The mind, however, fears what it can't control, so it invents stories of finality, the end, the void, the silence. But the soul knows better. It knows that endings are simply changes in rhythm, the next note in an endless song. When you begin to see death this way, something within you changes. You stop running from time. You stop fearing tomorrow. Because you understand, you are not your body's expiration date. You are the awareness that survives it. You were not born once, and you will not die once. You have moved through countless forms, each one another chapter in a book that never closes. And when this body breathes its last, the story won't end. It will simply turn the page. Freedom is not found in avoiding death. It's found in understanding it. The moment you stop fighting the inevitable, you start living the eternal. Have you ever noticed how everything seems to echo everything else? How a thought, a word, or a feeling somehow returns to you through people, events, or signs that appear at the exact right moment? That isn't coincidence. It's communication. The universe is not a collection of separate pieces. It's one living organism, and you are part of its heartbeat. Every breath, every thought, every emotion ripples through this field of existence like a drop falling into an infinite sea. Eckhart Tolle calls this field the now. Neville Goddard calls it imagination. But both speak of the same thing: the living consciousness that connects us all. The illusion of separation between birth and death only exists because we live trapped in linear time. We divide everything into before and after, life and death, you and me. But when you see beyond time, those divisions dissolve. In truth, there is no before, there is no after, there is only now. And within the now, all things coexist: birth, death, eternity, and you. You're not walking through time. You are standing still, while time flows through you. When you begin to grasp this, life takes on a new depth. Every moment becomes sacred. Every breath becomes proof that you are part of something vast. Something that never began and will never end. The real freedom isn't about escaping the cycle. It's about realizing that you are the cycle. Eternal, unbroken, limitless. So what is the secret? What is the key that unlocks this understanding? The one that can finally set you free. It's not in the past you regret. It's not in the future you chase. It's here, in the only place life has ever existed, this very moment. The present isn't just a pause between 2 points in time. It's the eternal doorway, the only place where you can step out of illusion and touch the infinite. When you're fully here, when you stop resisting the now, everything changes. Fear dissolves. Desire transforms. You stop chasing freedom because you become it. The great spiritual masters have all pointed to this truth in different words, but the essence is the same. Freedom is not something you gain. It's something you remember. When you awaken to the present, you break the chains of time. You remember that you were never confined by birth, and you will never be erased by death. The secret that gives you freedom is not hidden in the universe. It's alive inside you. It's the realization that you are awareness itself, playing the beautiful game of existence. You are not on the journey. You are the journey. And the moment you know that, you're free. Freedom doesn't begin when the world changes. It begins the moment you do. Most men spend their lives chasing freedom through external victories: money, status, recognition, control. But no matter how far they go, that quiet ache inside never fades. Because the freedom they're chasing isn't out there. It's buried deep within their own awareness. Every man faces 2 wars in life: the one outside him and the one within. The external fight is easy to see. It's the grind, the struggle, the pursuit. But the inner war, that's the silent one. The one that keeps you awake at night. The one that whispers, "You are not enough." And here's the truth most never face. You could win every battle outside and still lose the war within. You could achieve everything: the career, the body, the respect, and still wake up every morning feeling like something's missing. Why? Because you've mistaken survival for freedom. And those two things are not the same. Survival is about staying alive. Freedom is about remembering why you're alive. The real prison was never built of walls or bars. It was built of thoughts. The mind creates cages made of memories, fears, expectations, and regrets. And most people live and die inside those invisible walls, never realizing they hold the key the whole time. That key is awareness. When you become aware of the cage, you are no longer trapped by it. You begin to see that the walls were never real. They were made of belief. This is where the secret begins to reveal itself. The door to freedom is not in changing your world. It's in seeing your world differently. There comes a moment when a man finally stops running. Not because he's tired, but because he realizes there was never anything chasing him. Only his own reflection. You've been told that life is a straight line, that you move forward, achieve, age, and then disappear. But what if time doesn't move forward at all? What if it folds? What if everything, your past, your present, your future, already exists within you, waiting for your awareness to shift toward it? Neville Goddard called this the law of consciousness. He taught that what you imagine, you experience. Not metaphorically, literally. Because imagination isn't daydreaming, it's creation. Every image you hold in the depth of your mind becomes the blueprint for what you live. Eckhart Tolle said it differently. You are not the thinker, you are the awareness behind the thought. That single line holds the power to set a man free. Because once you realize you are not your mind, that you can watch your thoughts without becoming them, the game changes forever. Your mind says, I am trapped. Awareness says, I am observing. And the moment you observe, you are free. Freedom doesn't come through control. It comes through surrender. Not the surrender of weakness, but the surrender of resistance. When you stop fighting the river, you don't drown, you flow. The illusion of control is what keeps you in bondage. You think you're steering your life, but in truth, you're just tightening your grip on the wheel of fear. The moment you let go, something greater begins to guide you. Something ancient, something intelligent, something you've known all along. You can call it God. You can call it consciousness. You can call it life itself. It doesn't matter the name, because the essence is the same. It's the awareness that breathes through everything. And it has only one desire, for you to remember who you are. You've died many times before, not just in past lives, but in this very one. Every heartbreak, every failure, every moment you thought you couldn't go on, that was a death. And yet, here you are. You rose again. You always do. Death is not an event that happens once at the end. It happens constantly. Every time you outgrow an old version of yourself, a death occurs, and a rebirth follows. This is the cycle of consciousness. Constant dying, constant becoming. The man you were yesterday is gone. The man you are now is temporary. The man you are becoming is already alive in another dimension of awareness, waiting for you to catch up. This is why fear of death makes no sense to the awakened mind. Because death isn't loss, it's renewal. It's life recycling itself through higher awareness. When you understand this, your entire relationship with time changes. You stop counting the days. You start feeling the eternity within each one. Freedom is not a place you reach. It's a state you awaken into. And that awakening happens the moment you stop identifying with your story and start identifying with your essence. You were never the name on the page. You were always the ink that writes it. The modern world teaches men to be strong, but it rarely teaches them to be still. It rewards control, aggression, dominance, but not awareness. And yet, awareness is the foundation of all true strength. Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is control in its highest form, mastery over the mind. The man who can sit in silence, without needing to escape it, has already conquered himself. When you learn to rest in awareness, the storms of life can rage, but they cannot move you. You stop reacting. You start responding. You stop chasing validation. You start radiating certainty. This is real power, the kind that can't be taken away, because it doesn't depend on anything external. Freedom, then, is not about breaking chains. It's about realizing there were never any. You were always free. You just forgot. And that's the secret that can give you freedom. It's not knowledge. It's remembrance. It's not escape. It's awakening. When you see life and death, success and failure, light and darkness as the same dance, you stop trying to control the rhythm. You start moving with it. You flow. And in that flow, you find what men have searched for since the dawn of time. Peace. The kind of peace that can't be shaken by circumstance. The kind of freedom that no one can grant or take away. The kind that lives in you, right now, in this eternal, unbroken moment. There's a moment, subtle but unmistakable, when you realize that life has never been happening to you. It's been happening through you. You are not walking through time. Time is unfolding around your awareness. Like waves rising and falling, experiences come and go. But the ocean beneath them remains still. That ocean is you. The body is a vehicle. The thoughts are passengers. But the driver, the silent witness behind every experience, is eternal. When you begin to feel this, a shift happens. Your identity unhooks itself from the stories you've been telling. You stop saying, "This is my life," and begin whispering, "I am life." Birth and death, they were never opposites. They're partners in a dance too vast for the mind to understand. Each is a breath in the lungs of eternity, each one feeding the other. Every beginning hides an ending. Every ending hides a beginning. And freedom is found in the space between them. The space that's always been there. The stillness behind every motion. The secret most men never learn is that eternity isn't waiting after death. It's happening right now, disguised as the present moment. You've been conditioned to look ahead, to chase the next milestone, the next win, the next proof that you're enough. But the truth is, nothing you find in the future will ever fill the absence that only the present can heal. Because freedom doesn't live in tomorrow. It lives here. Where breath happens, where life breathes through you, where consciousness whispers, you are already free. The world keeps telling you to search for meaning, for success, for purpose. But everything you've been searching for has been trying to find you. The light you're chasing has been burning in your chest since before you were born. The voice you've been trying to hear has been echoing in your silence. The freedom you seek is not out there. It's the realization that you were never trapped to begin with. The real secret isn't about adding more. It's about removing everything that isn't true. All the noise, all the roles, all the false definitions of who you think you should be. Because the more you strip away, the clearer you become. And beneath all that noise, there's something unbreakable. Something untouched by the chaos of the world. That's you. The real you. Not the version that struggles to prove himself. Not the one weighed down by fear or failure. But the eternal presence behind it all. Silent, awake, and infinite. When you touch that stillness, you stop needing permission to live. You stop needing validation to feel worthy. You stop running from your reflection because you finally recognize the man staring back at you. You realize that freedom was never something to be earned. It was something to remember. You don't need to chase it. You just need to wake up to it. And so, here's the truth. The secret that can give you freedom was never hidden from you. It was hidden by you. You buried it under your fears, your doubts, your titles, your achievements. You covered it with layers of control and distraction, hoping to find meaning somewhere else. But meaning was never missing. You just forgot where to look. Freedom is not a destination. It's the nature of who you are. It's the silent awareness, watching the rise and fall of your entire life. It's the consciousness that existed before your first breath and will remain long after your last. When you know that, not as belief, but as experience, everything changes. You stop living like a prisoner of circumstance and start living like a creator of reality. You begin to see beauty in the endings. You start finding peace in uncertainty. And you walk through life with a quiet knowing that nothing can truly harm what you are. Because what you are is timeless. What you are is boundless. What you are is free. And that's the secret. It's not locked in sacred books or whispered by distant masters. It's written in your heartbeat. It's spoken in your breath. It's waiting for you, in this moment, to remember. Freedom was never something to find. It was who you've been all along. So if you remember only one thing from this journey, let it be this. You are not a man walking toward freedom. You are freedom walking through the form of a man. And when you finally understand that, you'll stop chasing the horizon and realize you are the horizon. There is no beginning. There is no end. There is only this, the eternal now. And in this now, you are infinite, you are whole, you are free.